He's asked you to stay for one more drink, and you know what that means. You're not ready. What do you say? Your boss has asked you to stay late to finish the project. You have a get together with the girls scheduled for tonight. You've been looking forward to it all week. What do you say? He said he would lend you the money if you were the one asking. It's not much. He knows you can afford it, and he really needs it. What do you say? Your mother has called again for the 20th time this week. She greets you with, "Have a minute," before just plunging ahead. You consider screening your calls, but you know you would never forgive yourself if this was the one time she really needed help. What do you say? Hi, I'm Amy Waterman, a dating and relationship expert with yourbrilliance.com. And in this video, I want to show you how you can say no without feeling guilty. No is tough to say. For some, it's harder than "I love you." Saying no is risky. It puts your relationships on the line. It puts your self-esteem at risk too. You know what the other person will think of you if you say no. So you don't. And then you hate yourself for it. It doesn't take a high school degree to figure out how to ask a question in a way that makes it perfectly clear that there's only one correct answer. You want a relationship? Then you'll stay for that extra drink. Otherwise, he might not want to see you again. You want to keep your job? Then you'll stay late tonight. Otherwise, you'll read about it in your next evaluation. You want to be a nice person? Then you'll loan him the money. Otherwise, he'll make it clear just how stingy and selfish you really are. You want to be a good daughter? Then you'll listen to your mother. Otherwise, she'll be so very disappointed in you after everything she's done for you. Not only doesn't it take a high school degree, but kids have it figured out by the time they can talk. My daughter and I used to regularly have this conversation. "No, sweetie, we can't. We have to do this other thing instead." "That's a mean word. You said a mean word." "What is?" "No. No is a mean word." "Sorry, honey, but I'm your mommy, and mommies have to say no sometimes. That's their job." "Well, I don't like it, and I think you're being mean. Only mean people say no." She's got it figured out. Do you feel mean when you say no? Most of us do. It feels so very good to give someone something they want. Saying yes makes us feel generous and virtuous and helpful. We get a huge rush. But saying yes when your gut is saying no is a different matter. It doesn't feel good to say yes to something you don't want to do simply because you feel pressured into it. But it doesn't feel good to say no either, not when you know you're going to be hassled over your response. I said no to something once, and the email I got back in reply was the ultimate learning experience. It was exactly what I needed. And to paraphrase, it said, "I'm asking you again to say yes to my very reasonable request very nicely. Here are all the legitimate reasons I'm asking you, laid out in bullet points to make your decision easier for you. I can't possibly see what you hope to gain by saying no, except to make life hard for me. My entire family thinks you're a horrible person who's incredibly selfish. But if you just say yes, we'll put all of this behind us." Emotional manipulation usually works really well on me. But I picked up some parenting books right about the time my daughter became a toddler. And those books spoke about the importance of boundaries. They said stuff like, if you say no, then the answer's no. Don't be tempted to change your mind no matter how fierce the tantrum. You will only be teaching your daughter that throwing a fit will get her what she wants. That's advice for life. All of us have an inner child inside of us. And when we're feeling stressed or vulnerable, our inner child can temporarily take over. We can act like children, even though we're supposed to be grown-ups. So saying no can provoke a toddler-style tantrum in otherwise reasonable adults. If it worked when they were a kid, they're gonna keep trying. So don't feed the toddler. If an adult negotiates in a fair and reasonable manner, well, that's a different story. But if there's any emotional manipulation at all, stick to your guns. No means no. Pretend the adult in front of you is a toddler in a grown-up body if it helps. Back in my 20s, I went to get certified to serve alcohol. And that one day server education course opened my eyes. The instructor asked us, what should you do if a customer asks you to serve them and you can clearly see that they're intoxicated? Now, most of us murmured some variation of, well, you should just say no because it's illegal to serve alcohol to a visibly intoxicated person. But the instructor shook her head. No, wrong answer, she said. Anyone else? And as she waited, a sly smile spread over her face. The room was silent. So she said, you ask them if they want any food. You tell them that you'd be happy to serve them something after they've eaten something. And by the time they've got their food and they've finished it, they'll be sobered up enough that you can legally serve them another drink. I never forgot that answer. Not because I actually had any call to use it, but because it exemplified the most important rule of customer service. If you have to say no, then make sure you present an alternative. I can't do this for you, but I can do that instead. And that works in most situations. If saying no makes you feel mean, then soften your response by suggesting something else. For example, you might say, I really enjoyed tonight, but I'm not ready to go to the next phase of our relationship quite yet. Let's get to know one another a little better first. What are you doing Thursday? You want to catch up after work? Or, I understand that you need me to help with this project and I can stay until 7 o'clock, but then I've got a prior engagement that I need to attend. Or, I understand how much you need that money and I can't personally help you with a loan, but I would be happy to look into finding a lending institution that could help you. Or, thanks for calling, Mom, but I'm in the middle of something right now. Can I call you back later? You're still saying no, but some of the sting has gone. Learning to say no and to stick to that decision has been one of the most valuable lessons of my adult life. As a woman, I always prided myself on my flexibility, my generosity, and my helpfulness. I had no idea that those very same qualities made me a pushover and a potential doormat. Former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair once said, the art of leadership is saying no, not saying yes. It's very easy to say yes. So don't take the easy route. No isn't a mean word. It's a word that honors our limits. We can't do everything and be everything for everyone. Sometimes we will disappoint people, but we will wake up in the morning with our self-respect intact. So there you have it. You do have the right to say no, even if you know it's going to provoke a temper tantrum. Think of yourself as a firm but loving parent, gently asserting your limits. Do you struggle with saying no? Have you figured out any tips that make it easier? Share them with us in the comments. And if you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more great videos about how you can live your most brilliant life. And if you've got a moment, come on over to yourbrilliance.com where you'll find tons of information on dating and relationships, health, beauty, family, career, and so much more. We would love to see you there. See you again soon.